When Rachel saw that she bore Jacob no children, she envied her sister Leah, who already bore 4. So she gave her servant Bilhah to Jacob as a wife, and he laid with her. And Bilhah conceived and bore Jacob 2 sons over the course of time, and Rachel named them Dan and Naphtali. When Leah saw what was happening, she also took her servant Zilpah and gave her to Jacob as a wife. And Leah's servant Zilpah bore Jacob 2 sons over the course of time, and Leah named them Gad and Asher. After a while Leah again conceived and bore Jacob 3 more children, 2 sons whom she named Issachar and Zebulun, and 1 daughter whom she named Dinah. Finally the Lord remembered Rachel, for she was barren, and he answered her prayers and blessed her womb. And for the very first time Rachel conceived and bore Jacob a son, whom she named Joseph. By the time Joseph was born, Jacob had completed his additional 7 years of service to Laban, and he said to Laban, "Send me on my way so I can go back to my own homeland. Give me my wives and children for whom I have served you, that I may go on my way." But Laban said to him, "If I have found favor in your eyes, please stay. I have learned by divination that the Lord has blessed me because of you." And Jacob replied, "You know how I have served you, and how your livestock have thrived under my care. Indeed, you had very little before my arrival, but now your wealth has increased many times over. The Lord has blessed you wherever I set foot. But now, when may I also provide for my own household?" So Laban asked him, "What shall I give you?" And Jacob answered, "Don't give me anything, but if you will do this one thing for me, I will go on tending your flocks and watching over them. Let me go through all your flocks today and remove from them every speckled or spotted sheep, every dark-coloured lamb, and every spotted or speckled goat. They will be my wages, and my honesty will testify for me in the future whenever you check on the wages you have paid me. Any goat in my possession that is not speckled or spotted, or any lamb that is not dark-coloured, will be considered stolen." And Laban replied, "Agreed, let it be as you have said." Thus, that very day Laban removed all the streaked or spotted goats and sheep, everyone that had any white on it, and everyone that was dark-coloured, and he gave them to Jacob. And the angel of God revealed to Jacob in his dream a ritual to ensure that all offspring born by his own flock would be spotted and freckled, in accordance with his agreement with Laban, and to prevent any future confusion as to which animal was his. So Jacob took some fresh branches from poplar, almond and plane trees, and peeled off strips of their bark, making white streaks on them. Then he placed these peeled branches in the watering troughs where his flocks drank. And as thus all his flocks that drank from the watering troughs containing the streaked and spotted branches, when the flocks mated, they gave birth to streaked and spotted offspring. Jacob repeated this procedure every mating season, and this was how he built his own flock instead of increasing Laban's. As a result, Jacob became very wealthy, with large flocks of sheep and goats, female and male servants, and many camels and donkeys. As Jacob's wealth continued to grow, Laban's sons became bitter and complained among themselves, saying, "Jacob has taken everything our father owned and has gained all this wealth from what belonged to our father." And Jacob noticed that Laban's attitude toward him had changed. Laban no longer regarded him with favor as before. Then the Lord God spoke to Jacob that it was time to move, for he said to him, "Return to the land of your father and grandfather, and to your kindred, and I will be with you." Thus Jacob put his wives and children on camels, and he drove all his livestock ahead of him, along with all the goods he had accumulated in Padan Aram, to go to his father Isaac in the land of Canaan. They set out secretly and never told Laban they were leaving, and Rachel unwittingly stole her father's household idols and took them with her. 3 days later, after they had crossed the Euphrates River and were headed for the hill country of Gilead, Laban was told that Jacob had fled, and Laban took his men with him, and pursued Jacob for 7 days, overtaking him in the hill country of Gilead. However, the night before they caught up with Jacob, God had appeared to Laban in a dream and warned him thus: "Be careful not to do anything to Jacob, either good or bad." And Laban knew better than to go against that warning. So when Laban met Jacob, he said to him, "What have you done? You've deceived me, and you've carried off my daughters like prisoners of war. Why did you run off secretly? Why didn't you tell me, so I could send you away with joy and singing, to the music of tambourines and lyre? You did not even let me kiss my grandchildren and my daughters goodbye. You have done a foolish thing. I have the power to harm you. But last night the God of your father said to me, 'Be careful not to say or do anything to Jacob, either good or bad. Now you have gone off because you long for your father's house. But why have you stolen my own gods and idols?' And Jacob answered, 'I was afraid, for I thought you would take your daughters away from me by force. But if you find your gods with anyone here, that person shall not live. In the presence of our kinsmen, see for yourself if anything is yours, and take it back.' Jacob did not know that it was Rachel who had stolen the idols. However, Rachel was clever enough to have hidden the household gods inside her camel's saddle and was sitting on them, and she excused herself before her father, saying that she was not feeling well and therefore could not stand up. Thus, Laban searched through everything in the tents of Jacob and his wives, but found nothing. His idols were not there. Then Jacob became angry and rebuked Laban as thus: "What is my crime? For what sin of mine have you so hotly pursued me? You have searched all my goods. Have you found anything that belongs to you? Put it here before my brethren and yours, that they may judge between the two of us. For 20 years I have been with you now. Your sheep and goats have not miscarried, nor have I eaten rams from your flocks. I did not bring you animals torn by wild beasts. I bore the loss myself, and you demanded payment from me for whatever was stolen by day or night. The heat consumed me in the daytime, and the cold at night, and sleep fled from my eyes. I have served in your household for 20 years, 14 years for your 2 daughters, and 6 years for your flocks, and you have changed my wages 10 times. If the God of my fathers had not been with me, surely by now you would have sent me away empty-handed. But God has seen my affliction and the toil of my hands, and last night he rendered judgment." But Laban said to him, "These women are my daughters, these children are my children, and the flocks are my flocks. All you see is mine. Yet what can I do today about these daughters of mine, or about the children they have borne? Come now, let's make a covenant, you and I, and let it serve as a witness between us." So Jacob took a stone and set it up as a pillar, and they gathered stones and piled them in a heap, and the place was called Mizpah, which means watchtower. For Laban said, "May the Lord keep watch between you and me when we are away from each other. If you mistreat my daughters, or if you take any wives besides my daughters, remember that God is a witness between you and me. Let this pillar stand between us as witnesses of our vows, that I will never pass this pile of stones to harm you, and you must never pass these stones to harm me. May the God of Abraham and the God of Nahor and the God of their father judge between us." And early the next morning Laban kissed his grandchildren and his daughters and blessed them. Then he left and returned to his home.